Welcome back. We are taking a moment right now to really talk about Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Researchers at Ohio State and a local nonprofit are exploring some new ground.
Our Krista Frost joins us from Ohio State to talk about a grant that looked into brain injuries and the connection to domestic violence. Krista, good morning.
Good morning. So here's the thing. Oftentimes when we hear the words domestic violence, we think of somebody who has a black eye, right? Well, that's a head injury or a brain injury, but the research behind it and the thought process behind that really hasn't been done, at least until now. And that's something that a lot of the survivors of domestic violence endure almost all the time. So we actually have some data to show exactly how far they've come so far in this research. 8 out of 10 people who've experienced domestic violence have head injuries. 8 out of 10 survivors who are trying to access resources have experienced a strangulation event or maybe something similar, which has cut off oxygen from the brain. And of all the people who've experienced a head injury as a result of violence, half of them have had repeated head injuries. So right now, the Ohio Domestic Violence Network and Ohio State, they're asking survivors simple questions as part of their research. So have you been hit in the head? Have you been strangled? Have you ever had a black eye? That's just to find out if someone has experienced a brain injury. And here's some of the responses that they're getting.
I just thought I was stupid. I used to be able to hold a job. Now it's really hard for me to hold a job. We know what the dynamics of domestic violence, there's lots of emotional abuse and belittling and name calling.
So a lot of those survivors just saying that they continued on with their life, not realizing that the reason they're having issues, maybe holding a job or something, is because they have that brain injury and that trauma in their background. And a lot of times when we think of that kind of brain injury, we think of maybe a soccer game or something that involves kids in sports. So we have the resources to help those populations with it. But right now the resources aren't there for those kinds of survivors of violence. But we're going to talk about what is available for them. That's coming up at 6. But for now, reporting live on Ohio State's campus, Krista Frost, 10 TV News.
All right, Krista, thank you. Such an important conversation to have. And interrupting the cycle of violence is a difficult first step. But we want people to know that there is help out there.
There is. LSS Choices in Franklin County runs the only emergency shelter for victims in this county. They offer a safe space for people with children, even pets, to escape that violence. So please take down that number you see on the screen. It is a 24-hour crisis hotline, 614-224-HOME. If you or someone you know is in a dangerous situation, do not wait. Call that number again, 224-4663, because that call could make all the difference. And the pandemic really just exemplified the dangers of domestic violence with so many people who were unfortunately stuck at home with their abusers.